Hey everybody, good morning. It's Justice for Comics. I didn't get a chance to do this over the weekend nor Friday, review of the CBSI Hot 10 list. Just had a lot going on and wasn't able to get to it, so better late than never. So here's my review of the Hot 10 list for the week ending March 25th. Let's take a look at some of these books. We'll start off with honorable mentions first. First one here is an oldie but goodie, Carrie Drake, Detective Cases number 5. 6.0 just sold for $2,300, double of what it hit just last year. Says the rope to crossbow contraption seems unnecessary. I think the female is wondering the same thing. Just goes to show that these bondage covers are universally sought after, even if they make no sense. So, yeah, that is kind of weird. There's a crossbow. That's very strange. But yellow cover, it's kind of a cool, it definitely looks like 1940s art, golden age, 10 center, bondage. Yeah, it's got a lot going for it. It's probably a fairly rare book. Remember, the older these books get, the harder they are to find, especially in decent condition. 6.0 is not a bad grade for an old book. All right, the next one here is We Live number 1, the silver metal variant. These were limited out of only 200. I think this was a Trinity Comics exclusive through their website. I am subscribed to their Facebook page. I don't know. I think this is like the second or third metal cover for We Live. I have one of them. I think I have an Aaron Bartley one that was limited to only 100 copies. That sells around $200 as well. So yeah, it's not a. I guess these metal variants. I mean, they're cool if you really love the cover. Some of the metal variants are nice, but I like the metal variants that have more color to them because on the metal cover, the colors really pop. But a silver metal, yeah, I mean, I guess there's a little bit of color there on the two characters, but it just doesn't. For me, I passed on it because I really like a metal cover with really good coloring. So, man, if Jen Bartel ever does a metal cover, I'll be all over that. It's because the colors just really pop on these metal covers. So, not something I would go for. I mean, if I'm going to buy one of these metal covers, I expect the print run to be low anyways, but I expect the colors to really be fantastic, and that one just doesn't do much for me. So that's my opinion on that. Number 10 on the list is Panorama of Hell graphic novel. Writer Hideshi Hino. There's 3 different copies of this manga graphic novel sold this week, each progressively more expensive, all the way up to $300. The story is an aftermath tale of Hiroshima. Yeah, that cover's pretty nasty. Not something I would go for. I'm not into manga at all, but a lot of people are these days. Number 9 is Mystic Arcana Magic number 1. $40 book. First appearance of, is it Amut? Amut is getting love as people are trying to speculate on what will play out in Moon Knight. This one falls in the tread lightly category for sure. I would agree with that. I don't think that character is going to show up in Moon Knight, but if you got that one in your long box, you may want to dust it off. You got a couple, maybe you want to sell one. Not a bad time to do it right now. Number 8 is Morbius, the Living Vampire number 1. Rise of the Midnight Suns, 90s book. Yeah, print run's huge, probably 1 million printed. Newsstand, that's the one I would look for if you could find one. 9.8 just sold for about $200 and $20 for a raw near mint copy. It says here, I wouldn't say I'm excited for the movie, but I am intrigued and hope it does well based on print run alone. I don't understand how this one is garnering any attention. Yeah, print run's pretty big, as many books were in the 90s. This is a good time to sell those copies if you have them in your collection and you don't mind parting with them. That would be a good one to sell. Maybe a newsstand copy you could get a little bit more money for. I've heard some of the initial early reviews of Morbius is that it's not that great. I hope that's not the case, but we'll see. I think some of the action will be good. I like Jared Leto as an actor. I think he is very good into morphing into different people. So I am interested in seeing it. I probably will wait till it comes out on a streaming service. I don't think it's one of those movies that I'll go to the movie theater to see. I do have the second appearance of Morbius. What is it? Amazing Spider-Man 102. I don't have 101. I have 102. Obviously, I wish I had 101. I've got the reprint, the facsimile edition, but I don't have the original. That book was always expensive. It got more and more expensive as news of the Morbius movie was released. I think after the movie comes out, you might see a little dip in the price of a lot of these Morbius books. So if you planning on selling it, this is the time to do it. Number 7 is Miss Marvel. Number 5. Only thing key about this book is the cover. That cover was used in a movie shot for the TV. It's a TV show, really. Streaming service, Miss Marvel. I saw the trailer. It looks fun. It looks definitely more geared towards teenage girls, more than 40-year-old men. But what do I know? But this comic book, yeah, it's a cool cover. I could see why they used it. It's a nice thematic cover. Going for about $45 to $50. Again, if you have this book, you may want to sell it. I do think the price will drop once that show comes out. Number 6 is Punisher number 1, the Tyler Kirkham variant. Going for $40 for the trade dress, $60 for the Virgin. Says I'm not really feeling this, especially with the goofy Punisher logo. Yeah, I don't like the new Punisher logo. It's terrible. You can't change a classic. I don't know if this is like they're trying to do the new Coke, and then everybody will be clamoring back for the old Coke. I don't know. I'm not liking the new Punisher logo at all. I don't know. Is that Wolverine's mask over the Punisher logo? It's too weird for me. I do think that after a few issues, they will revert back to the old standard classic. I don't think you're going to see that logo for long, but yeah, people are buying some of these books. It's not a bad cover. Tyler Kirkham's a good artist. It's just nothing. I've been kind of veering away from a lot of store exclusive these days. If I buy a store exclusive, I really, really gotta love the cover. That's been my way of operating lately. All right, the next one here is number 5, Superior Spider-Man number 17. The Jones 1 in 50 variant. Yeah, that's a cool cover. I probably should have bought one of those back in the day. I kind of vaguely remember looking at this book when it was around $150 to $200. And I probably didn't buy it because I thought, it's 4 or 5 times ratio already, so I kind of veered away from it. But obviously it can always go higher. Selling for $450 now, $1,000 for a 9/8. It is a cool cover. I love the cover. Ben says here it may be overpriced, but aren't there a lot of these available? There aren't a lot of these available. Only 2 on eBay as of this writing. Yeah, it's one of those books that rarely comes up for sale. So that's going to keep the price high. There's just not enough supply of that cover. But one to keep in mind if you're going to different comic book shops, you may want to see if they have. I mean, I would imagine that would be a wall book, but it's been out for a while. A lot of people know of this cover, but you might find a shop that has it for $200. I'd say if you could get it for $200 or less, it would be a good buy. I don't think I would pay current price for it, but number 4 is Voltron number 1. I guess there is news that a Voltron live action movie will be coming out fairly soon. 9/8 just sold for about $600. Raws went from 25 to 30, now selling around $100. Ben says, I'm a kid of the 80s and I'm not even excited about this. Yeah, I wasn't really into Voltron. Yeah, I wasn't into Power Rangers either. I don't know, just not my gig. That's all I can say about that. But yeah, it's going up in value. There are a lot of people that are into that. So if you have that book, pat yourself on the back. It's doing well. It's coming alive. Number 3, Marvel Point One, number 1. Raw copies are jumping up to $50 this week. 9/8s are around $400. First, Sam Alexander here. Potentially the person that's going to be playing Nova. So Nova is going to get his own, I don't know, I'm assuming movie, but it may be a TV show. I haven't heard. It's coming out on Disney Plus either way. So this is one of the specs on that is it's potentially will be Sam Alexander. I don't think it will be. I think it's going to be Richard Rider, the original, but who knows? It's up in the air right now. Number 2 is New Avengers number 40. Yeah, cool book. It says here, if you are to believe some random person on Twitter, which it appears some people are, Emilia Clarke will be Varanki. This book and the second print moved up this week. This one is up around $40 to $50, and the second print is $125. I'll have to look and see if I have that book. I did collect some of those New Avengers books, and I do remember Bendis was writing it. The first few issues were really, really good. I think I collected at least the first 20 issues. I don't know if I collected it that late in the run. It is a cool looking cover. I'm not familiar at all with the second print, but man, $125 for the second print. That's up there. So you may want to look for that one. That was fairly high print run book in 2008. Yeah, you probably will find some of those books in back issue bins, so that might be one to target when you go to your shop. I would imagine on eBay already most of the cheaper copies are already bought up. So yeah, that's why, and I've been saying this for a while, there's a need for local comic book shops still because of back issues. Not everything is going to be online, and it makes sense to have a couple local comic book shops at your disposal if needed, for these type of situations, especially a book that you have a good inkling that might still be in a back issue bin because this list just dropped. A lot of people were not aware of this book before. That's a good opportunity to go look at your shop and see if they have it. Number 1 on the list, this is an example of a book that's not likely you're going to find a deal on. Maybe at a local comic book shop, if maybe it could be one of those instances where it's a wall book, it's been on the wall a long time, and maybe it's high grade, raw, take a good look at it. Maybe you've got a 9.0 or better. That would obviously be nice, especially if the price hasn't been updated in a while. A lot of times those wall books, they just sit there for a long time on the wall, and the owner doesn't update the price that often. But this book has been hot for a while. I mean, I think 2 or 3 years ago, there was a lot of speculation on the Nova showing up in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, which didn't happen. So it's not like this book hasn't been speculated on before. It's been kind of hot for a while. And the 9.8, I remember 9.8's right around $1,000, maybe a little less, just a couple years ago. So obviously the 9.8 just sold for $2,700. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, I mean the higher grade books are definitely going to command the most money, and that's a tough one to get in 9.8, I would imagine. Black cover. When this come out, early 80s maybe. I'd say early 80s. So yeah, it's kind of a tough book to find in high grade. I've seen a couple raw copies in the past, definitely in the 9.0, 8.5 to 9.0 range, but I've not seen too many 9.6s or 9.8s. So that is one of those books. If you've got it graded and high grade, you may want to wait for that trailer to drop. When the trailer drops, that's when the book typically will hit peak price. So just be aware of that. Don't be surprised if this book shows up again on the Hot 10 list when that, right around the time that a trailer drops, which could be later this year. Marvel is, they're moving, they're doing a lot of stuff. There's a lot of development projects going on at Marvel right now. You don't see that with DC near as much. So, and you notice there's a lot more Marvel books on the list, right? First 3 books are Marvel. 5th one is Marvel. Number 6 is a Marvel book. Number 7 is a Marvel book. Number 8 is a Marvel book. Number 9 is a Marvel book. I mean, I don't see any DC books on this list, right? So, and maybe 1 independent book, 2 independent books, Voltron and this graphic novel. That's it. So there you go, guys. There's the list. I've been saying it for a while. If you want to spec, Marvel is the way to spec. That Disney Plus streaming service is going to add a lot of fuel to the speculative fire for quite a while. I just don't see that with DC or many of the independent titles. So, yeah, that's my take on that. All right, guys, that's what I had for you. Real quick, I did not watch the Oscars last night. I just don't care for them. I think most of these award shows are garbage, and a lot of times, celebrities are always trying to give you their opinions and the view of the. I could care less. You're just an actor. You're not a great philosopher. No one needs to really hear your opinion. But I did see this morning the slapping of Chris Rock by Will Smith. Oh man. And apparently, I guess they're friends. I don't know. They can't be that friendly. I don't know. If they were really good friends, I would imagine Chris Rock wouldn't have done that joke. I guess he made a joke about Jada Pinkett, Will Smith's wife. Listen, when you deal with a macho man, which Will Smith is he's one of those machismos, right? He's a hothead. I could see him going off the rails easy. And when you say something about someone's wife, it's, and the way the way she reacted, if she was laughing or smiling, I don't think he would have walked up there and slapped Chris Rock. But I think the way she reacted, I think he felt like, oh, I've got to, it's kind of defending a woman's honor, I suppose, but it's still assault. So it's still not good behavior. And yeah, and of course the Oscars don't care about good behavior. They'd give an Oscar to Jeffrey Epstein if it made them look good, so they could care less. But yeah, that's the way it goes. I saw the highlight on the YouTube channel this morning, so pretty funny. A heated moment, and yeah, I mean, I've been saying it for a while. Comedy is weird right now. You can't say hardly anything anymore in certain circumstances, and yeah, and sometimes if you say something, prepare to get slapped. If you're saying something spicy, you may have to deal with some negative reaction. So I think both parties had a case to do what they did. I think Chris Rock, he should be able to tell a joke that he wants to tell, and Will Smith has a right to slap a motherfucker. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the blowback is. But so far, it's going to create a lot of people talking about it. Is all it is. Pretty funny though. All right, guys, that's all I had for you. I will have a show this week. This Thursday, I am going to potentially have Jim's Comics on the show unless something comes up with his schedule. He told me last week that he would come on this coming week. He's retired now. He's got plenty of time to talk about comics. We're going to talk about speculation, all the different things that are going on in the comic book world. As he always says, it's a great time to be collecting comic books. A lot of first appearances coming out. I mentioned the other night I was on Brian McClay's. Is it McClay or McCray? McClay. His channel, his new YouTube channel, which I'll post after I get this on YouTube. I'll post a link to his channel. But I was on his channel in the panel, and we talked about all kinds of things that are going on. And I gave a spec on ASM 93. I got that from Jim's Comics over the weekend. So this Wednesday at your comic book shop, look for Amazing Spider-Man number 93. First appearance of Chasm, a new character, which is basically Ben Reilly becomes Chasm, which is a new Spider protagonist. I guess I don't know if he's a villain or what he is, but first appearance, he's on the last panel of the last page. So you're seeing some movement on that book. I looked on eBay, $10 to $12 for the regular A and B cover. The B cover is pretty cool. It's a Gleason cover. And then there's also a 1 in 25 cover by Sandoval. I would imagine that's going to be easily a $50 to $60 book. And I do anticipate that it will show up on the Hot 10 list this week. Pretty sure that will show up. New character, Marvel, that kind of stuff. So you may want to check in at your local shop on Wednesday, grab a copy, just in case. I don't think the book's going to, I don't think that character is going to explode in value or anything. I think if you could buy it for $3.99 and it's instantly worth $12 to $15, that's not a bad deal. So you may want to grab one if you're at your local comic book shop Wednesday morning. All right, guys, that's what I had for you. Hope you're having a great start to the week. I will have a Wednesday review of new comic books coming out the following week, so look for that on Wednesday, and I'll see everybody on my Thursday night show. Have a great start to the week, guys.